Every summer, thousands of Japanese car owners experience a complete loss of air conditioning. They take their vehicle to a heavily advertised repair chain, wait in a brightly lit lobby for an hour, and are handed an estimate for $1,200. The service advisor shakes his head and explains that the compressor has failed. The entire system needs a deep chemical flush, and the refrigerant levels are dangerously low. Panicked by the brutal heat outside, the owner hands over their credit card. What they do not know is that the compressor was completely fine. The refrigerant was perfect. They just paid over $1,000 to solve a problem that a Japanese engineer designed into the car on purpose, and it could have been fixed in exactly 60 seconds for $0. To understand why you are being robbed at the air conditioning shop, you have to realize that the climate system in a Toyota or a Honda has multiple layers of hidden self-protection. Japanese engineers know that the second an air conditioning compressor runs without lubrication, it will shred itself into metal fragments, so they designed the system to shut itself down at the first sign of trouble. The problem is, American mechanics treat this protective shutdown as a catastrophic failure. When your air conditioning suddenly starts blowing hot air, the absolute worst thing you can do is instantly assume it needs costly repairs or dangerous cans of store-bought refrigerant. The first hidden hack relies on a tiny plastic device called an AC compressor relay. This little black box lives in your fuse panel under the hood. Its only job is to receive a signal from the dashboard and send electrical power to the compressor clutch. Because this relay clicks on and off thousands of times a summer, the internal metal contacts eventually burn out. When the relay dies, the compressor receives zero power. The shop will quote you for a brand new compressor. But the real fix is astonishingly simple. The relay for your air conditioning is identical to the relay for your horn. If you simply pull the horn relay out, swap it into the air conditioning slot, and hear the compressor click to life, you just saved $1,000 and diagnosed the problem instantly. A new relay costs $12 at any auto parts store. But electrical failures are not the only thing mechanics lie about. The second secret involves a silent killer that is slowly poisoning the interior of your cabin. If you have ever turned on your air conditioning and smelled a sour, damp, dirty sock odor blowing through the vents, you have probably paid $80 for a shop to blindly spray deodorizer into your dashboard, but the smell always returns. That is because the smell is not just an odor. It is toxic, living mold multiplying in the dark, wet enclosure behind your glove block. When hot outside air is pulled across your freezing cold evaporator core, it generates extreme condensation. This creates gallons of water that's supposed to safely drain out onto the asphalt underneath your car. But Honda and Toyota engineers routed the rubber drain tube through the bottom of the firewall, where it is fully exposed to road debris, spiders, and dirt. Over time, that small rubber tube clogs completely solid. The condensation backs up, submerging your evaporator core in a stagnant pool of lukewarm water. Mold blooms instantly. When you run the air conditioning, you are blasting microscopic mold spores directly into your lungs. American shops will try to sell you a $400 dashboard teardown to clean the primary box. The Japanese method is brilliantly simple and costs absolutely nothing. You locate the rubber drain tube sticking out from the passenger side firewall underneath the car. You take a thick, flexible piece of string trimmer wire and gently push it up inside the rubber tube. Do not use metal coat hangers, or you will puncture the aluminum evaporator. When the plastic wire breaks the dirt seal, you will suddenly have half a gallon of filthy, moldy water pour out onto the pavement. The smell vanishes immediately, and your system stops rotting from the inside out. Think about how many times you have been upsold on a cabin air filter service or a chemical dash cleaning. I want to build a map of this scam. Go to the comments section right now. Tell me the year and model of your vehicle, and tell everyone how much a dealership tried to charge you to fix a bad smell or a broken compressor. We are going to expose exactly what they are charging in your specific zip code, so nobody falls for it again. But clearing the drain tube is only part of the equation. There is a third heavily debated tactic hiding right inside your owner manual, and dealerships actively tell you to ignore it. It involves the recirculation button on your dashboard. Many Americans drive with the recirculation button permanently turned on because they think it keeps the car colder. But Japanese climate engineers designed the system to need fresh outside air to breathe. If you leave your system on recirculation indefinitely, the humidity inside the cabin drastically increases. This sticky trapped moisture forces the evaporator to work 3 times harder, accelerating the mold growth and destroying the fan motor bearings. The secret is to use recirculation to quickly cool the car down for the first 10 minutes, and then immediately switch to fresh air. The industry hides these simple maintenance tricks because they destroy their most profitable summer services. Do not let a service writer convince you that a bad smell or a sudden blast of warm air requires a $1,200 rebuild. Check the relay. Clear the drain tube. Manage your cabin airflow. You just saved your air conditioning system from a catastrophic misdiagnosis. But having ice-cold air means absolutely nothing if your front tires are silently tearing themselves to pieces on the pavement. Click subscribe right now, because in the very next video, we are exposing the deadly mistake American tire shops make when they bolt your suspension together, and the exact weight-bearing secret Japanese mechanics use to make tires last 80,000 miles.